So what's going on here down at the, what's going on today?
Well, there's a list of demands the concerned citizens of Schuyler County are submitting to the Schuyler County legislators. One of which is to withdraw support for the salt caverns, and the other is to have him recuse himself, the chairman of the legislature, Dennis Fagan, and to have the code of ethics that the Schuyler County legislature has adopted apply to its own chairman.
And that's because he has a business that benefits from the industry.
Well, he says that, and the records show that he has recently transferred ownership to his brother and two other partners, which that company has a relationship with Midstream, which is a company that is connected to the fracking industry.
Okay. Thanks, Jack.
Thanks, Bill.
I would like you to listen to our letter of demand. Sandra?
I want to review why we are here today. We're gathered from all across the Finger Lakes and indeed all across the state of New York to stand with the residents of Schuyler County who object to the transformation of their serene, vibrant community into a gas station for the explosive, flammable products of fracking. Namely, we oppose Crestwood Midstream's plan to store compressed natural gas, methane, and liquid petroleum products, namely butane and propane, in the salt caverns beneath and beside our lake. And second, we come with a list of demands for the Schuyler County Legislature. This legislature passed a symbolic resolution in favor of Crestwood's plans at last month's meeting on June 9th. Our demands begin with a directive for the chair of this legislative body, Dennis Fagan, to recuse himself from all matters relating to Crestwood's proposed project due to an apparent conflict of interest involving his family's business. And this list of demands contains an order to rescind the June 9th resolution that endorses Crestwood's proposal, and instead, we want this body to resolve not to support any gas storage project on Seneca Lake now or any time into the future. We see this as a statewide issue. Seneca Lake is not only the drinking water for 100,000 people, many of whom live outside of Schuyler County. But Seneca Lake also provides the ecological conditions necessary for the wine industry. The amount of water held in this lake, it's half of all the water, and all the Finger Lakes are right here in Seneca Lake. So much water that it creates the climate needed to grow wine, which is a $4.8 billion industry for our state. All of us in New York depend on that industry. Seneca Lake is a world-class lakeside destination, labeled by many travel agents and among the top 10 most beautiful lakeside places on the planet. Watkins Glen State Park is our Yellowstone. 500,000 visitors hike in our state park every year. The lake is the trout capital of the world. And we know that our economic well-being depends on those trout and depends on that gorge and depends on train cars not tipping over and exploding in the middle of the gorge. So now I'm going to read the actual wording of our demands. I'll preface it with a very personal prelude. Breaking news, Reverend Gary Judson is reading these words right now inside the courthouse. My recitation comes with a very personal prelude. My son, Elijah, who was born on the banks of Seneca Lake, 10-pound baby boy, I pushed that boy out of my body without a speck of anesthesia. This is his first habitat. He is right now at the 4-H camp right here in Watkins Glen State Park at the Hidden Valley 4-H camp. That is his favorite place in the whole world. I'm his mom. It is my job to protect his favorite place in the whole world, and I'm going to do it. So here are the words of Mom to the Schuyler County Legislature. Subject, demand for action. Members of the legislature, we, the concerned citizens of Schuyler County, demand that the Schuyler County Legislature do the following today. 1. Rule that Chair Dennis Fagan recuse himself immediately from all matters relating to the proposed Crestwood project on the shores of Seneca Lake due to a conflict of interest, as explained below. 2. Rescind its June 9, 2014 resolution endorsing the proposal to construct Crestwood's industrial facility on the shore of Seneca Lake for reasons explained below. 3. Resolve not to support any gas storage facility or project on Seneca Lake now or in the future for reasons explained below. 4. Initiate immediately a proper safety and evacuation procedure plan until said facility is no longer operational for reasons explained below. 5. Hold itself accountable for and answer to the violation of open meetings laws for reasons explained below. And 6. Hold itself accountable for and answer to the violation of the Code of Ethics for reasons explained below. Here comes the punchline. We, the concerned citizens of Schuyler County, once again call upon the Schuyler County Legislature to properly and ethically secure the health, safety, and welfare of county residents by taking the steps detailed in the following pages. We pledge everything within our power as citizens to legally and properly assure that the legislature does so. Yeah. here come the reasons. Here's the reason that Chair Dennis Fagan should recuse himself. We, the concerned citizens of Schuyler County, demand that the members of Schuyler County Legislature rule that Chair Dennis Fagan recuse himself immediately from all matters relating to the proposed Crestwood project for these reasons. Despite his denials of a current relationship to Fagan Engineering, Dennis Fagan recently sold the company he founded to his younger brother, David Fagan, and two partners, a firm that does business with gas companies and is being paid by Access Midstream, a joint venture partner of Crestwood, for a construction project in Chemung County. That connection should have been revealed by Mr. Fagan when questions of apparent conflict of interest were first raised. These facts clearly constitute a conflict of interest. Therefore, Dennis Fagan should not vote and should not have voted on issues regarding an industry from which he and or his family profit. And if indeed there is in fact no conflict of interest, it is Mr. Fagan's obligation as an elected representative of the county to provide evidence of that fact. The legislators who back Mr. Fagan have all said that they take him at his word regarding his severed connection to Fagan Engineering. Legislator Phil Barnes said it was up to the concerned citizens of Schuyler County to prove that Mr. Fagan has a conflict of interest. Quite to the contrary, it is incumbent on Mr. Fagan to supply the proof that he has no conflict of interest. The legislator's current stance on this issue is a direct violation of Section 3, the conflict of interest, which reads, "To the extent that is known thereof, a member of the legislature and any officer or employee of the county of Schuyler, whether paid or unpaid, who participates in the discussions or gives official opinion to the legislature on any legislation before the legislature, should publicly disclose on the official record the nature and extent of any direct or indirect financial or other private interest existing in such legislation." Section 3, conflict of interest. Furthermore, Mr. Fagan's behavior in this matter is a direct violation of the Standard of Ethics, Section 4, Number 6, which states that each county employee shall endeavor to pursue a course of conduct that, and I'm quoting now, will not raise reasonable suspicion among the public that the employee is likely to be engaged in acts that are in violation of trust. More important, in proposing the June 9th resolution, Mr. Fagan went against the wishes of his constituents who have been loud and clear about their opposition to Texas-based Crestwood's project on Seneca Lake. That's demand number one. Demand number two, immediately rescind the resolution. We, the concerned citizens of Schuyler County, demand that the legislature rescind its June 9th, 2014 resolution endorsing Crestwood's proposal to construct this industrial facility on the shore of Seneca Lake, because there is a clear ethical conflict of interest on the part of Chair Dennis Fagan, and because Resolution 27 was introduced and voted on by Chair Fagan, making the resolution illegitimate. Therefore, the resolution must be rescinded immediately. And here is the third demand of the concerned citizens of Schuyler County. We demand that the legislature not support any gas storage facility or project now or in the future, as citizens and businesses demand. The legislator's support of gas storage does not represent the will of the people, families, and businesses that have spoken out against Crestwood's proposal to build gas storage facilities on the shores of Seneca Lake. This region has been named one of the top lakeside destinations in the world by the Weather Channel, Journeys, etc., Yahoo Travel, Sherman's Travel, and others. One of the best wine tasting destinations by Budget Travel, Dave's World Travel, Striped Pot, and others. One of the best vacation spots, period, by Frommer's, CNN Money Magazine, and Family Vacation Critic. A large gas storage facility threatens established and lucrative local industries that have taken years of hard work to build and that already bring in millions of dollars for the region and for the state. Moreover, the following Seneca Lake communities have spoken out against the Crestwood project. Seneca Lake, Seneca County, Ontario County, Yates County, the town of Romulus, the town of Fayette, the town of Waterloo, the town of Ulysses, the town of Geneva, the city of Geneva, the Seneca Lake Pure Waters Association, the health professionals of Schuyler County. They have all spoken out against the Crestwood project. As have senators from around the state. The Schuyler County Legislature vote defies the appeals from its own constituents and others in the region who rely on the Finger Lakes for its wholesome food, clean water, and vibrant agritourism economy. Because Crestwood's projects will impact not only Schuyler County but also the surrounding region, Schuyler County's June 9 vote is in direct opposition to both its citizens and its neighbors' appeal. Number 4 has to do with safety. We, the concerned citizens of Schuyler County, demand that the legislature initiate immediately a proper safety and evacuation procedure plan, along with a plan to dismantle the Crestwood plant until said facility is no longer operational. Yes. The Schuyler County Legislature bears full responsibility for guarding the safety and well-being of citizens and visitors to the county, and above all for the prevention of loss of life. The Schuyler County Legislature is entrusted with the drafting and review of the County Emergency Management Plan, which mitigates risks to safeguard the well-being of the community. The overwhelming number of failures at underground storage facilities occur in salt caverns, such as the facility posed for Schuyler County. Such incidents involve uncontrolled burning of gas from the wellhead and explosions, resulting in loss of life, property damage, and evacuation of residents. This facility will increase the risk to the local community by the handling, storage, and transport of liquid petroleum gas over local roadways, through pipelines, and by rail. The geography of Schuyler County and the village of Watkins Glen is particularly unsuited to the transport of hazardous materials by road and rail. Trucks leaving the facility in a southerly direction descend a long downgrade into the heart of the village. Trains traverse the very old 75-foot high trestle through Watkins Glen State Park. Number 5 has to do with open meetings. We, the concerned citizens of Schuyler County, demand that the Schuyler County Legislature hold itself accountable for and answer to its violation of open meeting laws. Due process was denied to the Schuyler County citizens who showed up to attend the legislature meeting the night of the June 9th vote. The legislature was told ahead of time it would be necessary to change the venue to accommodate the expected number of attendees, and they simply chose not to do so. leaving dozens of citizens outside without the ability to see, hear, or participate in the meetings. The sixth and final demand has to do with ethics. We, the concerned citizens of Schuyler County, demand that the Schuyler County Legislature hold itself accountable for and answer to its violation of the Code of Ethics. On the evening of the June 9th vote, Chair Dennis Fagan used his position as chair to allow twice as many people into the courtroom as is lawful in order to make sure that Crestwood supporters got in. Well, happily, there is Section 4 in the Standards of Conduct, which give us some guidance here, and is quoted here in the demands, and that states, Section 4, Standards of Conduct, every employee of the County of Schuyler shall be subject to and abide by the following standards of conduct. Number 4, no county employee shall use or attempt to use an official position to secure unwarranted privileges or exemptions personally or for others. One last sentence, the conclusion. We, the concerned citizens of Schuyler County, once again call upon the Schuyler County Legislature to properly and ethically secure the health, safety, and welfare of county residents by taking the steps detailed above. We pledge everything within our power as citizens to legally and properly assure that the legislature does so.
I'm sure they can hear you in there. And we are waiting for somebody in there to tell us how they're doing. So we might interrupt our next speaker, which is Will. Will? I'm not even going to pretend I know how to pronounce your last name, so excuse me. I've gotten teachers and winemakers mixed up and everything else, so excuse me. But this man, I've heard him speak a million times, plus he came to a fundraiser and donated a whole bunch of wine so that we could help fight this fight. It was a couple summers ago. So here you go, Will Owley.
Thank you. I'm Will Olean. That rhymes with gasoline, but don't let that confuse you. I'm from Oneida and Eagle Crest Vineyards on Hemlock Lake, which is one of the 11 Finger Lakes. I'm here with a strong contingent of people who love the clear waters of Hemlock Lake. Thank you all for being here. We've had a winery on Hemlock Lake since 1872. I think we're only second to the Hazlitt family for our long tenure of stewardship of the lands of the Finger Lakes as careful stewards and farmers on the land. As you know, Hemlock Lake is a protected lake. It's a protected watershed since 1888. The city of Rochester has removed all the homes on the lake, and we stand as the last property owners on the lake. It was Bishop McQuaid's estate. He actually built the winery to be a stop on the Underground Railroad. He was a Confederate prisoner of war, a Union chaplain, and he escaped and started the business on Hemlock Lake, which is today a sacramental and premium Finger Lakes wine business. We'll be 150 years old in just a few years, and we've been fighting this fight for a century and a half to protect the waters of the Finger Lakes. And sadly, as we saw last June 9th, our country has devolved into a state of pay-to-play politics. No longer is it a representative republic. And so last county legislature meeting, I'd done a little research and found out that Schuyler County did not have in force a ethics board. So I took it upon myself as a citizen of the Finger Lakes to print out the code of ethics and to address each copy to the honorable county legislatures that are inside today. For those of you who are not in the meeting, Mr. Fagan did call on me to speak, and I did ask for permission to approach the bench, which I did, and I gave each one of them a highlighted copy of the Code of Ethics before they cast their vote. So they cannot say they did not know that they were standing in violation of the code. If there's even an appearance of impropriety, they were to recuse themselves. We don't need to prove it. They need to do the honorable thing. Their title is the Honorable Dennis Fagan. That's how we're told to address them, the Honorable. So today we will see if they can correct that mistake. We all make mistakes. We're all human. We want to see that today they right that wrong. But this is much bigger than Schuyler County. This is much bigger than Seneca Lake. Really, this is bigger than the Finger Lakes, because yesterday and the day before I had the pleasure of being at the Finger Lakes International Wine Festival, which drew a crowd in excess of 50,000 visitors to our region. That's Federal Reserve dollars coming in from all parts of the country to be spent here. Sales tax was charged. I'll be calculating it today or tomorrow, I'm sure, and paying it to Schuyler County. And to a person, because I have no fracking and no LPG facility signs in our wine booth, to a person, people came over and said, 100 wineries, we came to your booth because we saw the signs for fracking, and we're from Pennsylvania. And we come up here to get away from that nonsense. And don't ruin our vacation land. You do everything you can to make sure that no fracking and no liquid propane gas or methane is stored in the ground, because this is where we come to get away from all of that industrialization, that spoiled water, those trucks. Someone told me 70,000 trucks could be servicing that facility. That's one every 3 minutes through Watkins Glen. One, that's 24/7, 365. I think we have traffic problems now in Watkins Glen, right? So what we have to do, this is great, we all come out, we show our support, they're inside. They ignored us last month, okay? So we need to get a hold of the governor. He wants to make New York State a turnaround story for the nation, and the industry that is succeeding is the wine and grape and agritourism industry. That industry has grown 27% in 4 years. So I've just been told that the 30-minute public speaking period inside has come to an end. They give us 30 minutes to speak. Every single spokesperson, save one, was it David Cray? David Cray, spoke in opposition. Every single person. This weekend, every single person that came to our booth spoke in opposition of fracking. Every single person, save one, and it was an embarrassed guy with his girlfriend, and he looked down, he said, well, I can't really say anything because I work for the fracking industry and it pays me good money, but you have every reason to be concerned. So, believe it or not, I used to work for a Wall Street firm that'll go unnamed. And they kicked me out, they fired me. But they taught me that there's a thing in investments called risk versus reward. And you don't take the risk unless the reward is 300% greater than the risk. So as I look at it, for the local people, what is the reward? 8 to 10 jobs? That's the reward? Or maybe 100 salt jobs? You know what? The salt mines have operated here forever. Crestwood's not a salt company. If they pull out, those jobs are going to be filled by somebody else who comes in to mine salt.
Exactly.
They can't blackmail us, okay? This is New York State. This is the home of the cranky Yankee. This is the home of Susan B. Anthony, Frederick Douglass. The top 37, the Seneca 12, okay? We need to continue to come out. All wars are lost by attrition of the weaker side. We have to persist. My name is Will because I persist. Will I am. We all need to be Will. We all need to persist because eventually this is going to be too expensive for them to fight. And they will move on and they will try to destroy some other community. We cannot let their greed get in the way of our grapes. I want to be known for world-class wine, grapes, fresh farm-to-fork food, and great, hospitable people that welcome everyone that comes here as if they're our neighbor and our friend. They are not good neighbors. They have a public record. They're lying to us as they're hyping this to their SEC friends. No way, no how. Okay? No way, no how.
So, I would like to introduce to you one of our fellow organizers. It's been Darlene Bardell and Lexi Bardell, I'm sure I'm screwing up her name, and Sylvia Fox. And Sylvia has been in the legislature, and she's going to give you an update.
Hello, everybody. I wanted to be out here with all of you, but it was really important to be inside and making sure that our legislators heard what you were saying out here. And we had I think we had 8 speakers who spoke. Reverend Judson was able to give all the demands, and they were respectfully listened to. Nobody was cut off. And the only person who spoke in favor of the resolution was David Cray. And he said that he thanked Phil Barnes and he thanks the legislature for standing up for the silent majority, in which Michelle LaPoste got to speak after and said, if they're the silent majority, why are we always the majority and here? So, exactly. And he said he works for U.S. Salt, but he's not speaking for Crestwood or U.S. Salt, of course. So, but the speakers did a fantastic job, and what's happening now is they closed the public comment period. They're going over the normal business of the resolutions, and then what we're hoping is that they will have a resolution to repeal that resolution or to table the resolution. My understanding is any ethics claims have to be done in private, but there would have to be a report given to the public of whatever happens on that ethical claim. They do know that there's 463 of you out here. You count. And the room in there is filled too, and we are making a difference. We are tipping it, and thank you so much. And I'm going to go back in there and see what happens next. Thanks.
We will wait for your report, Sylvia. Thank you so much. Thank you. I want to just show Darlene and Rexy, can you come up just so that people know there's been 4 or 5 of us, Mary Beth Gamba. We have all been working very hard to get this really together, and if you didn't show, we would have flopped. So thank you so much. Okay, so I have 2 things I have to find out. Is Brett here? Brett. Oh, okay. Are you the musician, poet guy? Yeah, okay. So I would like, we would like you to say something if you would like. And then I have Peter, I guess I have to look it up. Peter Angie. Yeah, you would be next after Brett, so if you don't mind.
Hello. I'm from Hector. I love this lake. So I'll give you a little Hector boy's perspective on industrialization. It's just a poem that goes like this. It's called Slow Down. In a clearing, in a forest, out behind the village dump, sat a really old man on an even older stump. He whistled while he whittled, and he whittled quite a while, and every time he heard a robin, he would cock his head and smile. See, he'd sold his house in town and moved up in the woods, because the town had kept it growing, and the growing wasn't good. Ever since they started fracking and the money came around, it had turned into a strip mall instead of a small town. Now on the path in that same forest walked a man with furrowed brow. He wanted to be happy, but he wasn't certain how. He made a lot of money, but things were pretty grim. His neighbor, who was younger, drove a bigger truck than him. And the neighbor on the other side, as quiet as a mouse, must have got a freaking raise because he built a bigger house. The town had kept expanding, the taxes getting higher, and the man felt he was slipping from the pan into the fire. "Oh my goodness, I've a visitor," the old man smiled and said. "What brings you to this forest with that frown upon your head?" The man said, "It's complicated. I'm not sure where to begin, but I don't know where I'm going, and my soul is wearing thin." "Well, slow down," said the old man. "Take a breath and look at me. You don't have to pave the world. You don't have to bridge the sea. Well, there's a flower, there's a tree, there's a woodchuck, there's a bee. These are things you need to truly be happy. I'm glad you're making money, son, but take a look around. You're gonna miss this town if you don't slow down." He said, "They're building and expanding while they're getting out of hand. They say we need more jobs, so they store gas under the land. And the constant noise and traffic, the compressors and the trucks, they swept this town under the carpet just to make a couple bucks. Everybody's in this contest for expensive, fancy things, multi-million-dollar homes, brand new cars, diamond rings. I don't need no status quo to remind me who I am. Leonard Skinner said it first, son, be a simple kind of man." Well, the man stood there for a minute, then he gave a mighty sigh, then he dropped down to his knees and like a child began to cry. And it all made perfect sense. He needed meaning in his life, and he couldn't wait to run and tell his children and his wife about this little old man up in the woods outside of town who had saved his life by giving him permission to slow down. Now that was years ago, though it seems like yesterday. The town became a strip mall and the gas men moved away. And the million-dollar mansions that were reaching to the sky stood silent and abandoned because the taxes were so high. But way up in the woods, back behind the village dump, sprang a tiny little town around an ancient locust stump. It wasn't very fancy, but it had the cleanest air. It was quaint and quiet and honest, and there were lovely people there. You see, that man convinced his family to make a mighty switch, to spend more time together and less time getting rich. And other people followed who saw that just what they had, that sometimes less is more, and sometimes more is sad. And that man, well, he took to whistling when he got up there in years, and he whistled while he whittled, and he drank a couple beers, and a smile lit up his face when the young man came to him and said, "I don't know where I'm going, and my soul is wearing thin."
Impressive. Pete is the fellow who puts on the flotilla. And then after that, I can't remember who's going to speak, but I will call your name. Have a few words.
Thank you, Margie. Can people hear me with this microphone? Okay, good.
It's distorting now.
Nothing. How about this? All right, good. Nothing gives me more hope and a stronger feeling in my heart than seeing all of us people here together. I'm here with my son, I'm here with my family, because that's what families and neighbors do when they're under threat. We are under threat from Crestwood. Our whole region is under threat from the frack attack. And I am worried. So I am standing here with you, standing with the people that don't want to worry about LPG trucks and tanker cars flipping over and exploding in their town. I'm here with the 100,000 plus people that depend upon this lake for their very drinking water, for their very survival. And I'm here with all of you to tell the Schuyler County Legislature that they need to listen, that they need to represent us and take a long-term view. I also am here because I believe that we are motivated by more than just fear of what could be. I believe that we are motivated by love of what is. We have a region, we have a future, and we have a goal in our minds of a sustainable future that is already much better than anything that the gas man can promise us.
Just got some news from the legislative office, and the measure to rescind was refused. So, it's us to us. What do you want to do? Well, we're just getting texts because, you know, it's in, you know, so, Sandra, where's our expert Sandra who can advise us? Okay, I'll find that out if it's, okay, hold on. So carry on, Pete. I'll just keep you updated. I'm sorry I'm interrupting, but I thought you wanted to know.
So they're not listening to us. And that is very, very clear. So even if they are not standing with us, we will still stand together. They're not listening, and we still demand of Governor Cuomo to do the most responsible thing for this community and for this region, to stand with us, to deny the permit to Crestwood, and to save Seneca Lake.
Folks, I'm not. We've just recently formed the Seneca Lake Alliance, which is a group of people who are dedicated to moving this resistance to a little higher level. Can you hear me? I'm with the Seneca Lake Alliance. It's a newly formed group. Louder? How's this? I'm Jack Osson with the Seneca Lake Alliance. It's a newly formed group of people that want to move the resistance to a higher level than what we are at this point. We don't agree necessarily that some of the traditional methods are going to change the elected officials' minds in this county, And we're asking people who would consider to look at civil disobedience, nonviolent civil disobedience, to come and join with us. We're having training sessions as soon as we get enough people, and I think by tonight's turnout and the people that have signed up, we may have that number. But we are always looking for more people. I think that if we get the people on the streets, that our elected officials are going to be much more responsive than they've been up to this point in time. Thank you very much.
Hi. Hello, my brothers and sisters, and I say that because we share a mother. Our mother is the earth. I'm of Cherokee ancestry. To the Cherokee, the earth is Elohi, Earth Mother. We need to protect our mother. What they're proposing to do ruins and destroys our mother. Furthermore, for a living, for many, many years now, I've been an insurance adjuster, writing the claims on vehicles, especially on big trucks. There was an accident on that new overpass where 414 crosses 14 last week. Imagine if that was a tanker filled with explosive gas that tipped over instead of just a box tractor. Imagine if instead of just cargo in boxes, if that was liquid propane that poured out onto 14. Is this county equipped to handle that kind of fire and explosion? I think not. Thank you.
Okay, guys, we now have a plan, and we're thinking about encircling the building. Michael Deneen came up with that. So this is not an arrestable action, but we would like you to hold hands. We are going to make a circle around the entire building so that when they come out, when they leave, they will see us, and we want them to see us. So if somebody can go in the back and let people know, can I have a couple of hands to tell people that this is what we're doing? We are encircling the building, holding hands. Can somebody...
A demand has been made by our people inside that Fagan come out and face us. And so please try to, those of you who can stay, try to stay and do this. He needs to see us. So we could, for example, make a ring around the building so whatever door he comes out of, he'll see us. What do you think?